okay. The video is probably dark um, compared to normal lighting. Let me try to bring my light over here because it's not good. Um, all right. Well, welcome to Constant Listening with Tori. That's better. And I'm Tori, your host, Victoria, and I wanted to just do my accountability day 19 out of 30 raw. This is what I'm actually eating for dinner. I hope you can hear me. The phone was kind of covered for a second. Welcome to day 19 out of 30. Welcome back to Constant Emotional Authority. This is an accountability video. This is actually what I'm eating for dinner. And so today, I went grocery shopping, which I really should have recorded that. That wasn't good content. But I bought, some kale and, my salad toppings and so forth. I bought grapes and some fruit. And my total actually came to 48 bucks. So it was a really good haul. And anyway, but I came home really sleepy, took a nap, woke up, and I was not in the mood to prepare my salad. My salads are very intricate and take some time. Sometimes it could take me 20 minutes to make a salad. Sometimes it could take me 45 minutes. That depends if I'm going to make my own salad dressing, you know, how many vegetables am I going to use. But, and then sometimes I'm just not in the mood, so then it takes longer. But even if I'm not in the mood, I've decided that I am going to be faithful to this dedication. I don't have to always have a salad for sure. I can always have snacks like this. So that's what I'm doing. And this is my dinner. Grapes and peanut butter. This is going to be a short live. I'm just going to go live long enough to allow this to not be as short. I don't have a whole lot to say. This is truly an accountability video. No one's popped in my live so far, so, you know, usually I'll start interacting with my viewers. No viewers yet. This is not really a video that I probably will rewatch myself, but I'm just showing you how it goes. When you're tired, you don't feel like preparing the delicious salads that you might want, or even a smoothie. What you have to do is still eat something, and this is one of those things: peanut butter and grapes. That's what I have to eat. Flatten it out for the blanket is the reason why back there. Um, yeah. So earlier though today, before I went to the store, I had dried fruit with peanut butter. No, I had dried fruit with peanuts. Um, and this morning I had um, grapefruit. So my day was pretty much grapefruit in the morning, and then I followed that. I think I had an orange after that, and then after that I then had peanuts with the cranberry raisins. Oh, and I did have a banana, a frozen banana with peanut butter. And then I went to the store, and then I bought my groceries. The total came to like $48. I had got bananas, oranges, grapes, kale, tomato, cucumber, um, grapes. I don't know if I said that, but the total investment was about 48 bucks. And basically, now, I'm having this snack. I took me a long nap, and now I'm waking up. I'm not making my salad. I would love to, but it's just not the right time. But I am going to eat this. So today it's been a really snackish, raw day. And I guess I'm just sharing with you guys my day 19, keeping myself accountable to my channel, to the viewers, to those who are following, and also, letting you see how simple it can be, to eat in a raw. You know, there's there's a little video that I saw which is interesting with I think her name is Banana Girl, and then there's this guy, I can't think of his name, but the guy, he's actually the OG, which is so terrible I can't remember his name. And she's not the OG. She's like more new to the game when it comes to the raw community. And she was talking a lot of heavy stuff about how he's not really raw. I guess because he eats some cooked food. But even a fruitarian, for example, isn't obligated to eating 100% fruit. They're supposed to be eating 75% of fruit or more to be given the title of fruitarian. So to be raw, it doesn't, no one, and the guy, he made a good point that no one is going to go raw the same. There's some people who go raw, and like there's this one guy I was looking at, he's this one black guy, this one brother. He was talking about if I don't get it off the tree or if it's not in its whole state as from the tree, it's not raw. That's his way of living. He chooses to eat the whole apple, the whole pear, the whole plum, the whole peach, the whole watermelon. He doesn't believe to blend a smoothie. He doesn't even believe in that. In his definition of raw, it's no smoothies, it's the whole fruit and that alone. It's literally that's it. So I'm not sure what he says about seeds and nuts. I haven't watched enough of his content to comment, but that's a person that's raw in the community of raw. There's people who don't eat seeds and nuts. They don't. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but so the guy, it sounds like O Raw. It sounds like ORAW or something like that, his channel. But the girl I've been training is Banana something. Not Banana Girl. But anyway, it doesn't really, I can't call their names, so don't hold me to any facts when I give these names out. But this is a popular controversy happening right now regarding the raw community, about what's really raw. But it's funny because since I started my channel I started this challenge August 1st, which is raw for 30 days. I already made it clear that this is raw for me. Like, I understand that there are some different levels of rawness. Like, I do know the one named Fully Raw Christina. She seems to be the kind of raw person that will blend up many things, you know, and she will have herself a big portion of it as well. There's people who are doing the raw thing and they preach smaller portions. They preach eat almost once a day. It's all up to you. There really isn't one way to call it. I do think that you can consider yourself raw. I would say at the 75% level. What's happening is there are different levels. People want to take this into turning it into pride. They want to feel prideful about their decision to not eat cooked food. They start bragging about, well, dehydrated food is practically cooked. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Dehydrated food, the raisins, that's like a dehydrated food. And there's folks that will tell you that that's considered cooked because it's dehydrated. And you know what? They're entitled to their opinion. They have a different perspective of what they feel raw is. And they also, I want to say it, I think they're seeking to be vain about it because it's not really a necessary. To me, if you want to really go down to what raw is, like the guy who I told you about, it is straight up from the whole food source. You know, you know, let's not blend anything because that is a form of processing. You know, um, see, raw unprocessed may be what he should call himself. It's so complicated. I don't know why we're complicating any of this. Do you, everyone, and let's respect people in the community who are obviously choosing to eat so much raw that they have decided that that's probably the best title for themselves, seeing that we're in the culture that we have. Don't try to push people out because you want, to feel better or something, or you want to create like you're better or something because you're not better. You're not eating the orange from the tree. You're probably blending the orange and creating a smoothie. So as long as you're processing it, I believe that it's just as healthy, and I believe that you should be, benefiting from all the nutrition, whether if you blend it or eat it whole. But there are people who are even quote unquote better than that discipline that you're practicing. So there's people who are practicing discipline higher than you, and they're not breaking their neck to tear you down. And I just think that people should not tear people down about how they have interpreted their journey raw. And this is what ORAW, because his channel's name is the guy who was like accused of not being wrong, the OG. This is what he was accused of, and he was making a point of, we all have our own definition of what raw is, and I agree with him. And also, you can say hi raw. That is a very popular verse or phrase in the community, hi raw. And I believe that, when I get done my challenge, I will say that I'm high raw, but at the same time, at this point, I consider this a raw challenge and I'm just transparent about what I'm doing. And this is definitely a raw challenge for me. And, there's no manipulation, deception, or anything else I can, none of that's being applied. This is what I'm doing. High raw for me is probably how I will identify myself going forward because I am going to be free from, and I don't need the title being fully raw. I don't need that title. I'm not depending on that title to feel good. I'm okay with being high raw and not just fully raw. Okay. And I had a video I put out where it was like I'm raw-ish because I realized that like the pickles, I went down the description about how pickles that I was eating were heat processed because they do sell pickles that are not heat processed, and those are in they're in a rind um, solution, and um, it is not heat processed. And so I explained that because I am aware certain ingredients are definitely not like my date syrup. I know they must use some heat to process that date syrup. I'm aware that there are things that are being done that are not 100% raw, and some of this I'm consuming, and I'm transparent about it, and I don't find that to be a reason for me to, go crazy and say anything too much except to disclose the truth and keep it pushing. It's not a big deal, but I do feel like going forward, after all of my, discipline here, and I'll continue doing my thing, I'm pretty sure I will establish myself as high raw, all foods inclusive. That's probably what I'll give myself. I'll probably coin that right there as high raw, all foods inclusive. That means I can have some chicken, some beef, potatoes, I can have some fruit, I can have some vegetables, I can have it all. But the difference is I will prioritize my raw foods, my produce, my good, clean, organic produce, preferably. That's the difference. The difference is I'm not going to act like, you know, I'm failing, if I eat something that's cooked. Now, my perspective, this video is getting longer than I thought. My perspective when it comes to meat is eating way less meat. Like eating meat like once a month is kind of how I see it for me. I see me eating meat once a month or even as little as 8 times a year. I really don't see meat being something that I consume at all weekly. I don't want to because I do believe that meat is just not my goal to way of eating, but I don't want to be so far away from meat that my body is going to be screaming upon eating it. I want my body to be familiar with eating meat. I want my gut microbiome, as they say, to have diversity, including meat. I don't want my system wrecked because I've been meat free so long that it can't handle the intrusion of that substance because I want my body to be chameleon. I want it to be adaptable. I don't want to exclude anything altogether forever. I really don't think that's a good idea for me. But I do believe having high volume fruit and vegetables is the best way to go. High volume. And I don't mean like eating too much, but I mean in a 30-day period, having only consumed a meat, and the meat could be sardines, literally 1 can of sardines a month, is enough. That's what I'm trying to explain. I'm talking about a meal, 1 meal of meat a month. You know, this could be salmon. My favorite fish is salmon. There's this wonderful no vaccine, no GMOs, no antibiotic. I believe it is website for beef, chicken, fish, and pork. I think fish is there, and it's a little bit expensive. You can get like 8 pieces of prime cut beef um, for like 250, and it has to be based on your zip code because they have to keep everything frozen to get to you. And they're in Tennessee. And the company is called Whitaker Farms, and so I know that's 250, 248 for me to get 8 prime cuts of beef, clean meat. You know, very important to me. And I should pull up their website to get the to say it a little bit more accurately because they have like a little list of what they don't do, like no this, no that, no that. I know it's no vaccines. I believe it's no antibiotics with our animals. They don't feed them with GMO products, which is what you need to be watching out for. So I'm okay with meat in the future. I don't know when I'll be going back to meat to bring it back in my diet. I think I might, keep doing this raw thing for a while and maybe go into high raw where I'm able to eat like some steamed or baked sweet potatoes. I see me moving into sweet potatoes maybe next month. Sweet potatoes and no butter. I'm going to stay away from butter and I do allow myself olive oil, but I can't have too much olive oil. Too much olive oil creates a discomfort in my system because it just feels like I feel like I could feel it, and so I know that I can only have so much olive oil. I can have it, but it kind of makes me feel like I can feel it, and I don't want to feel the oil in my system. I rather feel light, you know. But I do believe olive oil is a good option. I might try avocado oil, see how I feel about that. Either way it goes, I look at it as a sign my body's saying don't have too much. You don't need it, you don't need to have that much of this product. And I want to listen to my body and not have too much. Um, but I can have a little bit. In fact, I probably will go towards the little, how they had a little spray bottle oil method where you can use like a little spray on your food versus pouring it. Spray always just saves you like 85% of the amount you put on your food because when you spray it, you cover a lot of ground because it just can spray on the top of it and you're happy with that. And so I probably will add sweet potatoes going into September, but not so much meat. And I probably will add like some steamed vegetables, but not a lot. Probably, um, I'm not sure. I almost feel like it might just be steamed sweet potato, with a little olive oil, and probably that's it. I don't know. But I'm not sure. I do know that I'm going to stay high raw for the rest of my life. That will be my focus, is getting in that big salad, getting in my fruits, getting in my vegetables. And if I want to have a baked sweet potato at about 6 p.m. or something, then I'll go ahead and have that and call it a day. I believe that the full circle of things that need to change isn't just eating raw. You got to get your spirit right. You got to remove the things are not supposed to be there out of your life. I believe in God, so you got to get the sin out your life. Okay, this is what makes you healthy. This is what makes you whole. This is what makes you a wonderful, full, well-rounded individual, happy. You gotta do what you gotta do. Diet is just a part of it. So this video is coming to an end. I really want to thank everyone who comes across this video for watching. Hopefully you receive some value. My name is here. I put the bottom, Tori. Sorry, my name is Tori, and you're watching Tori with Constant Motion. Tori in Constant Motion. I hope you have a wonderful evening and you be blessed. Shalom.